Hello, my name is Matthew Glienke. I'll be your next speaker. Are all my judges ready? Okay, my timer right there. Okay, awesome. Let's begin. Do you ever ask yourself if you had taken a risk that would have changed your life forever? Our life is a series of choices, from choosing toys from the store as a child to if we want to play a sport or where we want to go to college as a teenager to who will marry and what job we'll take on as an adult. But what if? Could you have taken a risk that would have changed your life forever? Today, I decided to take a risk by wearing this suit. So, no, it wasn't a hand-me-down that I was forced to wear, and for the first time ever, you may have to ponder a little bit what you put in the professional appearance box. Meanwhile, my competitors that saw me outside the room are thinking, at least I beat that guy. Whether or not you think it's a good risk is completely up to you. The definition of risk, however, is the potential of losing something of value. Value can include financial wealth, emotional well-being, social status, physical health. As we go through life, God gives us opportunities to take smart risks, to put ourselves outside of our comfort zone, which can lead to failure after failure, but have the possibility to lead to success after success. Today I want to excite something inside of you, a desire to take a risk, because it has the possibility to change your life or someone else's life forever in a beneficial way. Some of the greatest inventions, people, historical landmarks, or events have been risks. Fired from his newspaper company because he lacked imagination and creativity, you may recognize his name, Walt Disney. And if you ask me, Disneyland is a pretty creative place. At age 30, he was kicked out of his own company. A couple years later, he came back and led his company into a new era of technological devices. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, who creates iMacs, iPads, iPhones, iWatches, for all we know, the iCar printer. Kicked out of his high school basketball team, this boy went home, shut his door, and cried. Michael Jordan went on to become a basketball legend. Last but not least, they were rejected from Decca Recordings, saying that they had no potential in the show business. The Beatles went on to be one of the most influential and famous bands that our world has ever seen. So what am I trying to say? What do all of these people have in common? They decided to take a risk. They had confidence in themselves. Regardless of what everybody else around them said, they changed the world that nobody thought was possible. Unlike the risks I just mentioned, bad risk and foolish risks exist also. For example, trying to see if you can reach the other side of a 4-lane freeway with a blindfold on is probably a bad risk. Furthermore, trying to walk across the tightrope for the first time ever in your entire life, also with a blindfold, is probably a bad risk. Pretty much, if it ends with the words, with a blindfold on, you may want to reevaluate that risk 1 or 2 more times. Don't risk a lot with the potential of only gaining a little bit. Because otherwise, you're going to take risks that are careless or detrimental to others. And you're going to find yourself picking up the pieces of shattered dreams. Now, many people influenced not to take risks have grown up in environments that discourage risk-taking. Because they see risk from this point or worldview. They see risk as careless and detrimental, as I just mentioned. However, we can't live in a safety zone our entire life. As John A. Sheets says, an American novelist, a ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are meant for. So what do we accomplish by taking risks? What benefits do we have by taking risks? Number 1, by taking risks, you're able to learn stuff about yourself, you're able to learn stuff about the world, and you're able to learn strengths and weaknesses you never thought you had. Now, if you don't take risks and you don't step up to the challenge, you might find yourself in a life that bores you with no dynamic, no color. Second thing we learn from taking risks is we're able to overcome our fears. Life has no guarantees, and that makes it scary. But that's where we learn our confidence and our courage. Third, what we learn from risk. Risk gives us the opportunity to learn from our failures. Risks aren't guaranteed to always be successes. A reporter, went up to Thomas Edison as he was in the process of creating the light bulb. Now, Thomas Edison had been working on it for months, and he had tried 9,000 different ways. This reporter asked, any time during this process have you felt like a failure? Thomas Edison responded with, why would I feel like a failure? I know 9,000 different ways that a light bulb doesn't work. Success is nearly in my grasp. 1,000 tries later, Thomas Edison created the light bulb. Fourth and finally, the last thing we are able to achieve by taking risks is our goals and aspirations. Success just doesn't land in our lap. We can't expect to be sitting on the couch playing it safe all the time and to conquer ambitions. We have to go outside of our comfort zone and put one foot in front of the other, risk after risk, to follow our dreams. Now, you may be sitting here wondering what you could have done. The opportunities that you missed. Or you could take the opportunity and seize it and still create something to your story. Because as you go through life, the things that you regret the most are the things that you didn't do. Now, I don't know what risk looks in your life, and while you don't need to agonize over every single situation, it's the big opportunities that involve risk that leave you thinking. And what do you decide? As I talked about risk, and good and bad risk, and how it looks in your life and what you benefit, you may not see the suit as a good representation of what I'm trying to get across. I'd like to disagree. Because I don't want you to remember me, that would be nice, and I don't necessarily want you to remember the suit, which, in case you're wondering, you can buy one at bobosuits.com. But the idea behind the suit. Because if I am able to motivate you, to inspire you to take a risk, even with the opportunity of a failure, then I would do this over and over again. Because as crazy as I look and as crazy as this suit looks,